Australia's Pacific Minister Pat Conroy has promised a $20 million package for Solomon Islands to help it host the next Pacific Islands Forum. Our reporter Chrisnrita Aumanu-Leong says the partnership plan will further boost the economy and help commuters by assisting in the upgrade of their road network.
Well, Yvonne, it's been a busy day, and in Solomon Islands fashion, if an announcement does not have a cake cutting ceremony, is it really an announcement? So earlier on today, that of course involved cake cutting that formed part of the various announcements today with Australia's Pacific Minister Pat Conroy in Honiara, his fourth visit and also a significant one ahead of the high-profile meeting of the Pacific Island Leaders Summit to be held in Honiara later in September. Now, part of today's announcement brought smiling faces to many Solomon Islanders here in the capital of Honiara and its commuters who have been heavily impacted by the poor state of roads and potholes. And Australia has funded $11 million towards upgrading Solomon Islands road network, especially the capital's roads, ahead of these high-level Pacific Leaders Summit. So we also did see a packed room of Solomon Islanders from all walks of life earlier today at the launching of the Australian Solomon Islands Development Partnership Plan, and celebrating a milestone also of almost 10,000 Solomon Islanders in the Pacific Labour Mobility Scheme, further boosting the Solomon's economy through close to $500,000 Solomon in remittances. So exactly why there were cakes involved, Yvonne.
Really interesting to hear that, Chrisnrita. Meanwhile, Australia has criticised China over its continued push into the Pacific. Do you think this money will help combat Beijing's growing influence there?
Well, among the different announcements done today, Australia is donating $20 million in funding for about 60 vehicles. This is also towards cybersecurity, road upgrades, inclusive of the roadworks that I did mention earlier, and other logistical arrangements towards this leaders' meeting. Now, Mr. Conroy has made it clear that this funding has zero conditions attached to it, and that he is aware that Australia is the largest logistical supporter of the Pacific Islands Forum Summit hosted by Solomon Islands this year. And this comes, of course, after earlier this month, China's ambassador to Solomon Islands handed the Solomon government's acting prime minister at that time, Frederick Cologetto, a $1.5 million Australian dollar donation to buy dozens of vehicles, also aimed for PIF Leaders Summit in September here in Honiara. So earlier this week, we did hear from Mr. Conroy saying that the Pacific is best served by Pacific-led institutions and processes. However, Solomon Islands Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele remains consistent that his country's development aspirations need the support of all development partners. And so we understand that for Solomon Islands to host a significant event such as PIF, it requires all hands on deck.
Meanwhile, illegal fishing was singled out today as a problem to tackle. How big an issue is it in the Pacific, and who is believed to be responsible?
Well, Yvonne, illegal fishing has been at the forefront of regional discussions. Pacific countries have been increasingly alarmed as fisheries play a vital role in their economy, food security and cultural heritage as well. Studies have shown that up to $500 million is lost in revenues for Pacific countries. And so there's limited public data, that's available on illegal fishing in the Pacific. But analysts that the ABC have spoken to have said that vessels from China and Taiwan are responsible for much of the devastation. Now, earlier this week, when Mr. Conroy was in Papua New Guinea, he took a swipe at Beijing on illegal fishing, saying it's a scourge, and saying that countries that failed to rein in it were literally, in his words, stealing food out of the mouths of Pacific Island people. The Pacific minister also did announce that its government will deliver on its 2022 election promise to double the funding for aerial patrols. And this is, of course, welcoming news for many Pacific leaders who, Yvonne, have been singing the same tune that combating illegal fishing in the Pacific is a regional effort.
Chrisnrita in Honiara, thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, Yvonne.